right. Hey, man.
Right. Hey, Leif.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Nice.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm busy. Busy with a lot of playing, some teaching, and I'm doing great.
Cool. Good to
man.
hear.
Yeah.
And I hope the folks at home this camera, are doing good as well. Welcome back to episode 4 of the... Well, now it's named the Leif de Leeuw podcast. It might change in the future.
Yeah.
It might not.
Who knows?
Yeah. At least we have an intro tune now.
Yes.
The viewers suggested take 3.
I love it.
Do you still know it though?
No. But I will look it up. And I think we should go what the folks like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess so too.
Yeah.
People decide.
Yeah.
I'd like to start out this episode with a bit of news.
Okay.
I read some really interesting news today. So, Joe Bonamassa, it's always a good start for the story.
Love Joe Bonamassa.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. He was he was one of my first heroes.
Really?
Yeah, I remember my father came home with a copy of Blues Deluxe.
Yeah.
That record, and I was, I think 11 or so, and I learned all the solos from that record, and
no way.
And I really loved the like he listened to a lot of old blues guitarists, and I did, because I listened to his music, I did a little discovering on my own what he listened to, and I found out that he listened to Paul Kossoff and all those great old blues players, and it really was a big inspiration for me, a really great starting point.
Would you still listen to him now, and view him as the same kind of inspiration?
I think the Joe Bonamassa from that era, like Blues Deluxe, I really love that, and I also love the Slow Gin record.
Yeah,
a lot. But after that, I remembered like the DVD from Live from the Royal Albert Hall.
Yeah.
I remembered when it was released, I went to the Free Record Store.
Yeah.
That's a record company in the Netherlands. I think it's a bookstore right now.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah.
And it's but I went there, I think every day to ask, do you have the DVD? No, it's coming Friday. And then I went the day before. Do you already have it? Can I maybe buy it? No, it's coming tomorrow. And then I finally got it, and I played it and listened to all the solos and tried to figure out what he was doing. It was such a great inspiration.
Ooh.
So but you have news about Joe Bonamassa.
I have news.
Cool.
He's notorious for buying all this crazy vintage gear, spending loads of money. But now he's bought the Dumble Overdrive Special, which was owned by Lowell George.
I saw it.
Which is so cool. That's so cool.
Man.
And I believe it was the Dumble that he played up until his last concert.
Yeah, I saw it.
I think it was in some show in Washington.
It was somewhere in June in 79, I think.
Sure, it was the day before he died.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah.
There are some great bootleg recordings. I listened to them a few months ago from his last shows.
Yeah.
You can find them on Sugar Max.
Okay, yeah.
That's a database for bootlegs, and I love all the vintage Lowell George recordings with Little Feet and also, and I think the last year he was just playing his solo stuff. Do you know that solo record from Lowell George?
Well, Thanks, I'll Eat It Here.
Yeah.
I love that record.
That one is so
Trains.
Yeah. It's so good, and I Can't Stand the Rain is on there.
That's a great cover, by the way.
Super great cover, and also the opening tune. It's a Postcast tune.
Yeah, what do you want the girl to do?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And it's so cool.
Yeah,
I think the combination of his voice and his voice on the guitar, is amazing. It's like so unique.
Yeah. For the listeners out there, because Little Feat might not be a band that everybody knows. Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
But there's quite a lot to get into.
Yeah.
What would you say is your go-to record for Little Feat?
That's a hard question, but I would say Dixie Chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's it has some great songs on it, and That's probably my favorite album, like studio album. But I also love that live record, Waiting for Columbus.
Yeah. And
I think it's with the horn section of Tower of Power.
Yeah.
And it's so good. It's in the live version of Dixie Chicken on that record is amazing. It's so special, and also like the key playing, the keyboard playing is amazing. Bill Payne, and he also did a lot of session work. I think he even played on The Wall from Pink Floyd.
No way.
Yeah, so he still is. He's still touring with Little Feat. I think he's the only original member.
Yeah.
But he is, like the whole band is playing so great and so groovy and so unpredictable.
Yeah.
And in a way with Lowell George, it's you can always expect what you are going to get, because he only plays a few licks.
Yeah.
But all those licks are so great, so clean and so soulful.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think he has that same quality like Robert Cray. He is also a great guitar player and singer, and it's one thing. And Lowell George had the same thing. It's one thing. He just plays the guitar and then he starts singing and plays the guitar again. He's not switching, but it's like it's part of his whole thing. Like it's connected to each other, and that's what I love.
And he writes great songs.
Oh,
Willin'.
Willin'.
Man.
Oh, that's one of the best songs ever.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's like the weight from the band, but then from Little Feat. Like Willin' is the weight song.
I saw Billy Strings in Paradiso in Amsterdam.
Me too.
You were there as well?
Yeah,
oh, cool.
Yeah, sure.
But it was 2 shows, right?
Yeah, I think I went the first show.
I went to the second one.
Oh, yeah.
Because I went for a piss, and then when I went back, everybody was leaving. So I was like, I missed the last song.
Yeah.
And then friends told me the last song was Willin'.
Oh, man.
Oh, and I was so bummed out.
Oh.
I haven't heard it.
Oh, man. That song is so special. It's so... But also I think it's called Long Distance Love.
Long Distance Love.
Oh, man. That's so great. When I hear that intro, I get goosebumps.
That's my Little Feat record. Whatever the one is with that song on it.
It's the last record or something?
The last record album. Yeah.
Last record album. It's great.
With the dog.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah, and also the artwork from Little Feat is amazing.
Yeah,
I love those covers.
In short, go listen to Little Feat.
Go listen to Little Feat. It's super cool. It's super cool. I still love it, and I think every year I get a new phase of just diving in the old Little Feat stuff, because it's so. I think Jimmy Page said like it was his favorite band.
Cool.
Yeah, it was his favorite band to listen to. Yeah.
He didn't really pick up on any of the playing, though, I think.
No, but it was no, not for sure. But he just loved to listen to the live concerts of Little Feat, and I think in the 70s they didn't have like a big hit or something. It was just people knew them because they had a great live reputation, and that's something. Yeah, that's just super cool.
Yeah.
Just because you're a good band, you're successful, and that's a fact which I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shall we deviate from Little Feat to something entirely different?
Yeah.
I've brought 2 guitars.
Okay.
As per usual. We'll go to the whatever that is.
Okay, cool.
In a few minutes. I want to talk about this one first.
Okay.
And I want to talk about the modern guitar in general.
Okay.
We're both a little bit vintage guys, especially you, I'd say. Does this scare you at all?
It's a little scary. So what have we got here?
This is a Music Man.
Okay.
A Kaizen, which is, I think it's even designed by Tosin Abasi, the crazy guitars for Animals as Leaders.
Yeah.
And what I mainly wanted to talk about here, it has loads of crazy features, but it's the fan fret.
Yeah.
Is that something you would go for?
Okay, first, I want to know, what is it exactly?
Okay. Let me explain.
And why?
Yeah. Well, that's a great question. Well, usually a guitar, the frets are parallel to each other. Is that the logical way of saying it?
Yeah.
They're parallel to each other. So the distances between the frets are different, of course, but they're all in the same line, which means that the guitar is basically always out of tune somewhere.
Yeah.
And this tries to lessen that. It doesn't get rid of the problem entirely, but it does slightly. It also follows the curvature of your hand more naturally.
Okay.
So you'll notice if you play like this, your hand can't move in a straight line. That's really difficult. You'll always move like this in a sort of wave pattern or a fan pattern, which is why it's called fan fret, of course. And what I think is really interesting is that you'll have a longer scale length on your bass notes compared to your treble notes. So you'll get the tightness and the feel here, but you'll get like the wobbly, nice and low bass in the low end.
Like a little bit like a baritone guitar, right?
Yeah, but then
it has like a longer scale length to give it more strength on the lower frequencies, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you need it if you want to detune, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Which is why these guitars are usually used by people who detune as well.
Yeah.
But I think it's a really interesting concept because it sounds like a definite upgrade opposed to the usual way of fretting a guitar, to me at least.
Okay.
I mean, I don't own one. Maiko does. But I mean, the concept to me, it sounds really intriguing. And I'm wondering if like in 10, 20, 30 years, is this the new standard? Will this be considered the way of guitar building? I mean, we aren't using like the gut frets that you can slide around yourself on the old parlor guitars anymore. And everyone knows that's a really stupid idea compared to just stainless steel frets now.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't this take off?
Okay, I think first of all, I'm the worst guy to ask this question to, because I love vintage stuff and I love the way guitars are designed in the 50s and the 60s, and I think that's like maybe closest to perfection.
In what way?
Because it's like all guitars have flaws.
Yeah.
So and I kind of love the flaws of a great vintage instrument. It gives it a little bit of vibe, and it's like I love it when a guitar is a little bit out of tune. And I think usually if you have a guitar which is like out of tune, and mostly the notes in chords that are out of tune are like the thirds, like so in a chord, for example, if you have a C chord, you have a C, E note and a G note, and the E note will be a little bit too low. And I think the further you get into playing guitar as a professional player, you tend to push the thirds a little bit more deeper in the fretboard or in the fret, because the tone will sharpen a little bit, and then it will sound more pleasant and more in tune. So
you're working around the problem, basically.
Yeah. So that's for me. That's like I do it automatically. Yeah, I think, and yeah, it's like I bend a lot of strings. So I just, my ear tends to my fingers tend to correct like the out of tuneness of some guitars with little bends and maybe overbending a little bit. So to me it's not a problem, but I play vintage shit. So I love Little Feat, and I love the Led Zeppelin and the Eagles and stuff, which is a little bit out of tune. So that's, to me, that's it won't be a big problem, but it's a really interesting concept for sure.
And it depends on what you're chasing. If you're chasing the sound of the Eagles records and Little Feat and what have you, sure, they aren't perfect. Well, they're really close to perfect if you ask me.
Yeah, if you ask me too. But
if you take all the individual sporen, the
tracks,
the tracks, it won't sound in tune.
No, it won't sound in tune, and that's kind of the charm of those records. So,
but for a lot of people in modern music, the charm will be perfection.
Yeah,
it sounds perfectly in tune,
and that's the same with auto-tuning. I heard a story recently from a fellow musician that there is a new job in music, and it's called auto-tuner. at live concerts. So which is actually really crazy because I won't name who it is, or but it's like with really big concerts, you actually have you can have a guy who is like. Who puts all the vocal lines in MIDI?
Yeah,
it's called, and then you can, if the singer sings close to these notes, he will automatically correct them
live.
That's so crazy. And
audiences are changing. I can imagine if you're just really into music, but you're not a musician, and you just want to go to your hero, your pop star hero. You want to hear these songs done correctly. Then the singer sucks. That's a bummer.
It's a bummer. Yeah, like I don't know. It's a new market, and it's in people who are making money with it, that are interested in the technique of auto tuning and stuff. Please go for it.
Yeah,
because it's the world is changing, and I'm still a guy who loves the vintage stuff, but like I'm not changing too much, I think, sometimes. But that's my style, and I'm okay with that. But it's interesting for sure.
So you won't be using a modeling amp anytime soon?
No. Well, I do own a Dream by Universal Audio.
Oh yeah.
I own it, and I play it at home because it sounds fantastic.
Yeah,
it sounds really good, and it has a great feel. And I love deluxe reverbs, and it has a lot of great options. But I mainly use it for practicing.
Yeah,
and I take it to sometimes when I'm carrying one amp, like a tube amp, then tube amps can break down. Like it can happen anytime. So I just take it as a backup. But
it has happened before?
Yes.
Before a show?
No, well, I never used it as a backup yet. But I remember 2 years ago, I was playing with my band at the Zwarte Cross, a big festival in the Netherlands. And then I was playing through two amps, and I had a little Princeton, and the other amp was like a Tweed Twin clone.
Yeah.
So really big amp, and I was getting all my volume and drive from that amp. And then I remembered like my signal broke down, and I couldn't figure out what it was, and I had to switch like really fast, and I just took my cable and I put it straight into Princeton, and I cranked it, and it sounded really great. But it's a Princeton, and I'm playing with two drummers.
Yeah.
And there was a big Leslie on stage, and it was struggling to finish the gig through one little amp. Like if it was like a super reverb or something, you can just crank it and you have volume, and you just get it clean with turning the volume down on your guitar. But it was hard for sure. So that for me, I got a backup shortly after that, because I never wanted to be in that situation again.
Yeah.
But it was challenging, and but especially when you have one amp and there's no backup at the venue. I just carry like a little there's a little box like a Dream, and it sounds really great, to be honest. But to be honest, I don't think it's cool, and I want to have like cool stuff. I want to carry cool stuff. Like I like to play old guitars. I like to play vintage amps and stuff, and they can break down. So, but if it's working, it's mojo, man.
Yeah.
There's mojo happening. So
I agree.
Yeah, but let's.
You want to feel it? Do you want to give it a strum?
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how you manage on a fat fret. And please tell us how it feels.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what it sounds like.
Yeah. Is it confusing?
It's a little confusing. I think I have to look what I'm playing like it, because I'm so used to a normal scale length and which has the same length on the high E string as on the low E string. It's a little confusing for me, but it feels good. The guitar is great. It sounds really nice. I'm obviously not a heavy kind of guitar player style wise. So I'm just playing blues on.
Yeah,
on
well,
this,
there are plenty of demos of people playing that stuff on this guitar.
Yeah. So yeah, but
it's play some blues.
Yeah. It's a little confusing, to be honest, but it feels great. I like the. I think it's a roasted neck.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
it's a roasted neck on there. I like it, and I think it has stainless frets.
Yeah,
I kind of like those too.
Yeah,
like
you can feel the difference.
I feel the difference, and to be honest, I have some guitars with stainless steel frets, and they are so consistent. I love those, and I think eventually I will replace them on maybe not all of my guitars, but most of my guitars that I play a lot. That for sure the guitars where you bend a lot.
Yeah,
it gives so much sustain and clarity, and
that's a much denser materials. Sounds pretty obvious.
Yeah, and it's. I like it, and you don't have to worry about setup so much anymore because they last forever.
Yeah, and when you do have to have a setup, your luthier worries about it.
Yeah,
and he'll worry about it a lot. But.
Yeah, like that's a thing. But I kind of like it, and also on vintage guitars, I think it's great when I have like a melody maker, and it has a Brazilian rosewood fingerboard. We talked a little bit about it last time, I think. I put some stainless steel frets on it, and it's. I didn't want like to. Every time when you change out the frets, there's like a risk of the fretboard being like. Maybe being worn out a little bit because when you take them out, there's a risk, and I just didn't want to take that risk with the guitar. Just set it up with the stainless steel frets, and then I won't have to worry about it too much for at least maybe 20 years or 30 years, and with and I play a lot of bands, so I have some guitars. I think. Every 5 or 6 years, they need new frets. So that's definitely a thing. So for me,
interesting.
Yeah, but I like it. It sounds really good.
Yeah, I thought it sounded good as well.
Yeah,
it suits you in a weird way.
In a weird way, it suits me. Yeah. Well, actually, I saw 2 weeks ago. I went to see the Eagles, and I think one of my biggest heroes ever is Joe Walsh. He's just so cool, way too cool, and he was playing like a Charvel.
No way.
Guitar. he was playing you know that song. From the Eagles, it's In the City.
Oh yeah,
and he was playing it on that tune. He was just playing like a high. I think it had like a high output. With the modern humbuckers, and it sounded great. But to be honest, everything that Joe Walsh touches, it just sounds like Joe Walsh.
Yeah, well, this sounds like live now as well. So
I think in a way it doesn't matter. You will make it your own as soon as you pick up the instrument, but I like it. It's a cool guitar, and I love the weird tuners on it.
Yeah, I think it looks so cool, man. I really dig it.
And it's these pickups are they made by Music Man?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
It's cool.
But don't pin me down on that.
It's cool.
Should we go to the next guitar?
Yeah.
And before I tell anybody, especially for the people who are just listening and not watching, I think it might be interesting to just play it first.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
I will go for it. So, let's hear it.
You found the input.
Found the input, yeah. Whoa. That's a cool guitar.
So for the people watching the video, they've had a little sneak peek already. For the people listening at home, you weren't listening to a Strat, but to the Teuffel Birdfish, and I can really recommend you give that a Google if you're in that position right now. It's called the Birdfish, it's made by Teuffel guitars.
Okay.
Might be Ulrich or Uli, as most people say it, Uli Teuffel.
Okay.
He built this. This is the epitome of modern guitar design.
Yeah.
He designed this in 1995 already.
That's a good year.
That's a good year.
Then I was born in that year.
That's a great year then. So you two were both born in 1995.
Yeah.
And this is a newer one. But it's basically still the same guitar. I think he developed it in 4 stages, and probably since the early 2000s, this guitar hasn't changed all that much. And he, as an art piece, I love it already. I love the way this looks. It's so killer. This could hang in a museum, if you ask me, and I'd be so enamored by it.
It's so weird.
It's so weird.
It's cool. I like it.
And his philosophy behind this was bringing the guitar back to the fundamentals of what a guitar should be. So he figured, what makes the tone in a guitar? It's the pickups and the position of the pickups.
Okay.
It's the wood of the body.
Yeah.
And it's the wood of the neck. So the neck is just a really high quality piece of bird's eye maple.
Yeah.
The 2 tone bars, as he calls them, the 2 orange bars you can see, they are made of alder. And there are 2 maple ones in the case as well, because you can switch them out.
So they are in the case?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And the pickups are now just 3 single coils, but it comes with 2 humbuckers as well. And the first thing he figured was, well, everybody knows where the pickup is placed near the string. That makes a big difference on your sound. Yeah. So if you look at the back of this guitar,
you can just looked a little bit.
Unscrew the pickups and move them around freely. And you can even twist them and turn them.
Whoa.
So you could have the neck pickup at a slight angle, but the bridge pickup way up to the bridge and just straight.
Whoa.
Which, just that principle alone, everybody knows where the pickup is placed makes a huge difference. Yeah. And this is the first guy to figure out, well, why not just make freely movable pickups?
That's just so cool.
And the tone bars, they make the tone together with the neck. So in this case, it's alder and maple. So it might sound like a Fender, which to my ears, it really did.
So these are the tone bars?
Yeah, those are made of red alder.
Whoa.
Both of them. Powder coated, of course. And the reason it's called the Birdfish is because the 2 aluminium bars you can see where the tone bars are connected to.
Yeah.
One of them is supposed to resemble a bird, and the other one is supposed to resemble a fish.
Oh,
yeah. You can see it because I always view it as a fish.
I see definitely a fish.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But those are made of aluminum, just as the rest of the metal parts you see, because that transfers frequencies without any interference, or almost any interference. So they won't do anything for the tone, which is great.
Whoa. I kind of, all the stuff you are telling me about this guitar, I kind of love it more every...
Right?
Yeah, like I love the concept, like... I love it a lot, like, and it plays great. The sustain is great.
It sounds great as well.
Yeah. Sustain is like forever. It's a really good guitar.
Nice.
It's a really good. I like it. It feels a little bit too modern for my taste, probably.
Yeah.
But it sings.
Yeah.
Like it really sings and has a great feel. And also the neck is like, feels pretty comfortable. A bit of a C shape, I think.
Well, especially considering how it looks, and when you pick it up for the first time and you put it on your lap, it's surprisingly comfortable.
Yeah. The one thing that bothers me a little bit is like it feels like the neck is a little bit more deeper into the body, so it feels like my first position should be like a little bit above the first fret where it is right now.
Yeah,
but it's really cool.
Yeah, I really dig this, and the concept as well, because what's interesting is these aren't cheap now. They come at a pretty not too bad, but a pretty hefty price. Okay. I think this is currently 17,000 euros now. But when he started building in the 90s, it wasn't that bad. Okay. And he just always held on to the principle, I'm going to make around 10 a year. Okay. And I'm going to make 500 in total. This is about the halfway point. This one is new. This is number 243. So he's halfway his run. Okay. And because he only wants to make 10 a year and he only wants to do it alone. Yeah. If the quantity of a product doesn't rise, there's only one thing that can rise, and that's the price. Yeah. So that's basically the only reason why these are expensive now.
They're like Bitcoins.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, basically, yeah. Whoa, but it's just so interesting to me. And a big shout out to Jamie and Zach of the Boutique Guitar Showcase for finally hooking us up with one of these, because getting your hands on one is really difficult. And Rudy and I figured that we should just have this in the store if we sell it or not. This belongs here. Yeah. And I was wondering, are there like famous players who play on one or? Well, Kirk Hammett, for one, plays one, but I think he's a bit of a weirdo in that because he has loads of guitars. Hans Zimmer, actually, he really uses one for his productions as well, for his live concerts. Cool. And one of the biggest fans of Uli's work is Billy Gibbons. Billy Gibbons? Yeah, for sure. Whoa. There are entire reviews he's written about this guitar, and he uses it for specific songs as well. Like there are certain songs in the set, he'll want this guitar. Whoa, that's so... It's really, you should look it up. Seeing Billy with one of these, it's a crazy sight. Billy is like the coolest. Yeah. He is up there with Joe Walsh for me. Yeah, same. Whoa, that's so cool. He's higher than Joe Walsh for me, to be honest.
Yeah. Joe Walsh has a special place in my heart, but you might be right.
Well, I mean, if it's cool enough for Billy,
yeah,
it's cool enough for me.
Yeah, for me too. Well, it's really cool. It's really cool, and then I think like I like this a lot better, to be honest. And of course, it's a weird comparison, but, but I like it a lot better than the Music Man I just played. It kind of the, how do you call it again? Like the
Fanfret or multiscale.
Yeah, multiscale. It just feels a little bit weird for me, and this one doesn't have it.
Yeah,
and it just feels more like home. I think. But that's taste. That's taste, of course, and these are a little bit more affordable, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's really cool guitar.
Yeah,
I like it.
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah,
I was just really curious to pick your brain about it.
Yeah, and I think like it sings, and that's like that's the most important thing on an electric guitar. Of course, there are different types of guitars for different stuff, but a guitar should really sing, in my opinion. Like that's why I love Les Pauls and I love Gibson guitars, because if you find a good one, they will definitely sustain your note for a long time, and that's then you can just do more with it. And with this guitar, you can bend a note and just let it ring. And it's really cool. I like it.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I dig everything about this, and especially just the discussion it can
just pick it up,
call up,
and I think that's the cool thing for me at the Fellowship. Of course I do a lot of demos here, and I think a lot of times I can be pleasantly surprised about guitars that I wouldn't go for in the first place, but then you pick it up and then you feel the guitar, and you feel you can discover different qualities of a guitar. And I would never expect that a guitar like this would sing like this.
Exactly.
And that's super cool.
Well, that's what it's made to do.
Yeah.
I mean, if you ask Uli, this is probably the most guitar a guitar can be.
Yeah. Super cool. Super cool.
So if anyone wants to play it, please feel free to stop by. You don't have to be interested to buy it. Just
play it.
Yeah, just play it.
So these you call it tone bars?
Yeah, well, Uli calls them tone bars. Because they produce.
So they came with like swamp ash.
These are you can get ash as well. These are alder, and we have, I believe it's maple.
Okay.
But it's still in the case, so you can just switch them out. You can do one maple, one alder. You can do one ash, one alder. You can just change them out.
Did you check it out if it works?
No, not yet.
Not
yet.
Yeah. It's super cool. It's super cool.
We could.
Nice. Shall we move on to some playing?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
What have you got in store for me?
Well, for today, I was thinking about a little concept I wanted to talk about with you. And I think concepts in general on guitar, for me, are really important, because a great concept can be like a little lick that you will expand to a pattern, right? So, for example, you can play like a small lick like this, and then you can just play it as a lick, but you can also see it as a concept. And for example, if you would move it around the neck, then it will become like a little concept that you can apply in different scales, and you can apply in different with different techniques. And for today, I was thinking about a little lick that I discovered, which is I took it a little bit from Eric Johnson, but I made my own version of it, and it's a hybrid picking lick, and it slides down the guitar neck, and it's a fun lick. You can just move around and use in solos to get from one place to another place. And I will play the lick for you first, and then we will see if you can if I can learn it to you.
Repeat it.
Yeah. That's the lick, and it sounds pretty impressive, but it's not that hard. So I will play it. I will show you what the pattern is, and this was based on the A Mixolydian scale, and the A Mixolydian scale is actually the regular major scale. That's the major scale, but you lower the seventh note.
Oh yeah.
So then your scale will be, and you can play it on a 7 chord.
Yeah.
That's the rule with a Mixolydian scale. If you want to play it, you can play it like on a 7 chord. So it's applicable in blues music, for example. So. This lick is it starts like I just played it. It starts on the high E string, and the pattern is like this. So it repeats itself, and it's I will show you what I'm doing. First I pick the 12th fret of the high E string with my index finger, and then I do a pull off, and I pick it with my middle finger. You're in tune?
Good enough for the blues, right?
Good enough for the blues. So I pick it with my middle finger, and then and that's what it makes hybrid picking or chicken picking, as some guitarists refer to it. So what I do, I pick it with my middle finger and then do a pull off.
Yeah, the first one you pick with your middle finger.
Yeah, like that, and then I pick the 14th fret of my B string, and then I slide it down. Like this, so you have to slide down to the 10th fret with my index finger.
Yeah.
Yes, and then you do a pull off right away, and to the 12th fret, and then I do the same pattern. So I will play it for you really slow. Then you can figure it out. And I will make a little tap out of this lick, and then that I will attach with this episode. You can find it on the website again.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're running out of frets. So so that's how far you can take it on this run. So shall we try if you can play it?
Oh God.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the note which makes it Mixolydian.
Yeah.
So it's G note. So that's the lick. So what you can do with this lick is pretty cool. You can also stop halfway, because then for example, when you start a solo in the on the 12th position. So, and right now I was playing it on the G string.
Yeah.
And the G and the B string. So, and the fun thing about the Mixolydian scale is that you can really the A Mixolydian scale, all the open strings are in that scale.
Yeah.
So if you play it like this, I have all the open strings. So I can if you know your scale around and you are going to look for it a little bit, then you can. Yeah, you can also. And then. Which is a super cool pattern, right?
Yeah.
And as you could play it right away, right? Slow,
for sure, yeah.
But you could play it. So if you put a little bit of time in it and start discovering all the possibilities with a pattern like this, it's super cool and it sounds cool, right?
Yeah.
And where I inspired this pattern on, it's I will play it. Like that, the B part of the Cliffs of Dover tune, and which is it's also like, and then but I do it with a pull off with an open string, so it gives it a little bit more snappy sound, and especially when you apply it with the hybrid picking, you can really make the string slap against a.
So you're really plucking it with your middle finger.
Yeah. So and that's what it gives that cool little short country sound with a lot of overtones, and the overtones because they happen because when you pick a string with you pluck it really with a finger, it slaps against the fretboard, and the string is like a really the hard material, and the fretboard, the frets are also hard. So and it's the same thing when you pick with your you just touching the string with your pick.
Yeah.
It gives the only thing that happens when you mute the strings, you get overtones.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the same thing with when a string pops against the fretboard. You just hear it will mute a little bit because it will bounce against the frets, and then it will stop, and then it will mute a little bit. But the thing that makes it sound really loud and really that will make it cut through in a mix is like the overtones will remain.
It's interesting.
It's interesting, right?
It's really interesting.
Yeah, that's the stuff I lay awake in the night and I'm thinking about what is it with Brent Mason and why does he sound so cool and this is the stuff that I really love. So
would you say this is a good exercise to get into chicken picking?
It is a really good exercise, and it's also a good exercise because you move down a scale. Mm-hmm. Down the fretboard.
Yeah.
So and moving down a scale, normally you will practice it in position.
Yeah.
Which is great because everybody should do it, but learn all the angles of a scale. Like and this is also an angle to move it not vertically but horizontally as well.
And you'll get a way better feel of the distances.
Yes, and that's and it's muscle memory.
Yeah.
It's muscle memory. So that's the little lesson for today. I will make a little tap out of this lick, and then everybody at home can practice and
lay awake as well.
Can lay awake as well. Yeah. So I think that's it for today.
I guess so.
Thanks.
It was a pleasure again.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed it as well.
See you next time.
Till the next time. Joe! Doei, doei Marco! Yo!